7 o'clock, and I'm going to call the meeting of the Finance Committee to order at 7 p.m. Mr. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Alderman Clemmons?
Here.
Alderman Moran?
Here.
Alderwoman Timmons?
Here.
Alderman Gaveo?
Here.
Alderman Camo is here, and Alderman Clee.
I am here, and Mayor Donchis was unable to make it today, so I will be filling in as chair tonight. Also in attendance is Amy Gerard, David Bouchard, Superintendent Waste, and Michael Rush, Fleet Manager. I think we have everybody. Our next order is public comment. Seeing none, and communications. Mr. Clerk?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the purchase of 2 grit roll-off containers from Waste Quip in the amount of $44,900. Funding will be through Department 169 Wastewater, Fund 81300, Machinery and Equipment /WRF.
Mr. Bouchard?
Yes, good evening. Dave Boucher, wastewater superintendent. This is for the purchase of 2 grit roll-off containers at the wastewater plant to replace some old ones. Grit is the material we pull out of the wastewater. It's essentially sand. Once it's washed, it falls into a grit container and hauled off to the landfill. These are custom-built containers. They have an auger system in it to move the material from one end to the other to maximize the use of the available space. They also have a custom-built cover to line up with our existing equipment, our wash equipment. Waste Quip is the current bid winner in the Sourcewell contract. They are also the company that we purchased the last ones from. So we'd like to purchase from them again. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Does anybody from the board have a question? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? And the ayes have it, and that motion is carried.
Thank you.
Mr. Clerk?
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to approve the purchase of 1 2004 Ford F-250 four-wheel drive pickup truck from Grapponi Ford in the amount of $57,158. Funding will be through Department 169 Wastewater, Fund 81500, Vehicles /WRF.
Mr. Boucher, I think you are up again on this one.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Michael Rush wants to answer this one, but this is for the replacement of one of our vehicles,
Okay.
the Ford 150 at the wastewater plant.
Okay, Mr. Rush?
Mr. Rush.
Good evening. Yes, this is a scheduled SURF purchase. We opted to go with a Ford F-250 over an F-150 to get a more robust truck replacement. We will also be able to mount a plow and assist in winter operations, as well as the wastewater treatment plant daily operations. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
Are there any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
And those opposed? And that motion carries. Mr. Clerk?
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to approve the purchase of 1 2004 Nissan Leaf for use in the engineering department from Patriot Nissan in the amount of $28,176. Funding will be through Department 160, Admin Engineering, Fund 81500, Vehicles /SURF.
Is there someone here? Mr. Rush, are you going to speak to this one as well?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
This is also a scheduled SURF purchase that we went and obtained 3 quotes for. We had a hard time trying to secure it on a state bid. So this will be replacing one of our older 2010 Ford Fusion hybrid vehicles. And to follow the city's EV initiatives, this was the vehicle of choice for that replacement. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? And that motion is carried. Mr. Clerk?
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to approve the purchase of 1 trackless MT7 mower attachment for vehicle ID 18-055 from HP Fairfield in the amount of $34,900. Funding will be through Department 161 Streets, Fund 81500, Vehicles /SURF.
And I guess you're up again, Mr. Rush. Is that correct? Or is this, oh, this is Mr. Ibarra.
Thank you. John Ibarra, Superintendent of Street Department. So this mower attachment will go onto one of our 9 trackless machines that we use for snow removal and multi-tool. We do a lot of roadside mowing, line of sight issues throughout the season, especially years like this, where we had a heavy wet season. We cut around guardrails and overpasses and line of sight issues. And we deal with a lot of poison ivy. So this will minimize the risk to the crews of the street department that are doing the work and gain inefficiencies to the mowing. We'll be able to reach over guardrails and cut it back a lot more quickly. And I'm happy to answer any questions. And if it gets technical, Mr. Rush can join in.
Well, personally, I'm glad to hear that you're going to be able to save a little bit of itching and scratching from our staff. Is anyone, Alderman Clemmons?
Yeah, just a quick question. Is this something that we don't have now, or is this replacing something?
This is in addition to our street fleet, yes.
Oh, excellent.
Any other questions? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And that motion carried.
Thank you.
Mr. Clerk?
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to approve the purchase of a 2024 Ford F-150 Lightning pickup truck for use in the engineering department from Grapponi Ford in the amount of $51,538. Funding will be through Department 160, Admin Engineering, Fund 81500, Vehicles/Surf.
And again, you are up this time, Mr. Rush.
Michael Rush, Fleet Manager. This purchase is a scheduled surf purchase. It's going to replace our 2011 Ford Fusion. Again, to follow the city's EV initiatives, we opted to go with a pickup truck for this. What they'll be using it for is in the field use. It's a little tough for them to get up off the road with the Fusion due to the low ground clearance. So this vehicle would be used for them when they're out doing site work and able to get it off the road a little bit easier than the smaller vehicles. And happy to answer any questions you may have on this scheduled purchase.
Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? And that motion carries. Mr. Clerk?
Yes, thank you. I'd like to make a motion to approve the purchase of one 2024 Ford F-350 four-wheel drive pickup truck from Grapponi Ford in the amount of $58,190. Funding will be through Department 168, Solid Waste, Fund 81500, Vehicles/Surf.
And again, Mr. Rush?
Michael Rush, Fleet Manager. This is also a scheduled surf purchase. This will replace one of our older units. It's a 2015 that we are going to move to the back line. That's showing signs of wear and tear and undercarriage corrosion. The asset that it's replacing is an F-250 pickup truck. We opted to upgrade to the F-350 so that we could add a sander into the back of this truck to also aid with snow operations. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have on this scheduled surf purchase.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
And those opposed? And that motion carries. Mr. Clerk?
Yes, thank you. I'd like to make a motion to approve the purchase of one upfit package for an F-550 dump body and plow package from Viking Civis in the amount of $75,400. Funding will be through Department 177, Parks and Recreation, Fund 81500, Vehicles/Surf.
Mr. Rush again?
Michael Rush, Fleet Manager. So this upfit package actually looks like it's coming before the truck that we're purchasing. We probably should have went for the truck first, but so this upfit package is to upfit the F-550 dump, which we are kind of downsizing the unit that it's replacing. It is a scheduled surf purchase. This truck will have a mini wing on it, and the idea behind this is to have a little bit more versatility in the smaller side streets with snow operations. It also comes with a multi-use body that can be used as a flatbed and or a dump truck. I'm happy to answer any questions you have on this.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? And that motion carries. Mr. Clerk?
Yes, thank you. I'd like to make a motion to approve the purchase of one 2024 Ford F-550 four-wheel drive chassis from Grapponi Ford in the amount of $66,218. Funding will be through Department 177 Parks and Recreation, Fund 81500, Vehicles/Surf.
Again, Mr.
Mike
Rush?
Rush, Fleet Manager. This is the chassis for the upfit package that we just spoke about previously. It was obtained through the state bid process through Grapponi Ford. Happy to answer any questions you have on this. This is just the cab and chassis.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. And those opposed? And that motion carries. Do you want me to read this, or do you want to?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. From Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, emergency PO request, charter contracting. There being no objection, I will accept the communication and place it on file. Unfinished business,
There's none.
tabled in committee.
There's none.
New business resolutions,
There's none.
new business ordinances,
There's none.
and a record of expenditure.
I'd like to make a motion that the Finance Committee has complied with the city charter and ordinances pertaining to the records of expenditures for the period of November 10th, 2023 to November 30th, 2023.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
And those opposed? And that motion carries. General discussion. Seeing none, public comment. Seeing no one from the public. Remarks by the alderman. I have a couple things to say. Over the weekend, there were a lot of events going on for city things going on, as well as the Pearl Harbor event on that was held at the Main Street Bridge. It was in the rain and everything, quite cold. The mayor spoke about Dory, I hope I get it right, Doris Dory Willis, who was quite a person to be honored, who basically took up a gun as the Japanese were dropping bombs and so on, and to save his members. He'd never had any training and did it when he ran out of bullets, and he went on to have saved quite a few lives. And sadly, a few years later, he was actually killed in action. So it was quite a moving speech by the mayor, and I recommend anybody who doesn't know. I didn't know about Doris Dory Willis, and I looked it up and learned quite a bit. So I recommend. He was the first person of color to receive the Navy Awards, as he did in Purple Heart and quite a few other things. So it was an honor to hear about him, but such a magnanimous person. Also, in addition to that, there was Santa in the park in the rain on Sunday, and we must have had 150, 170 kids that came out to see Santa and to get a gift. And Mount Pleasant on Saturday had a cookies and cocoa, and Santa was there, and Mrs. Claus was there, and elves were dancing everywhere. And it was nice to see some of the new Board of Ed members came out to that as well. And but there were so many other events I know that I didn't get to go to because you can only spread yourself so thin. I'd also like to thank my clerk here, his last time as clerking here in finance. I'm happy that I was the chair, so thank you.
My pleasure.
Anybody else?
Oh, I thought there was one more meeting. No,
Is there one more meeting?
if there's not,
Oh, yes, I think there is.
I have
But
no
so
idea.
maybe my last time
I was
chairing
told-
this committee.
Maybe
I was holding-
it's your last time chairing.
Maybe it's my last time chairing, so yes.
I was holding my comments for our esteemed clerk until the last meeting.
Yes.
I also accept gifts and large envelopes stuffed with cash. And
Wait till December 31st.
Wanderlust pens.
One less
Yeah,
swag,
yes,
yes.
so- But no, truthfully, if I don't get to see you again, thank you. I do appreciate you clerking. Any other remarks? I guess I was just kind of pushing the year fast. It just seems like it's going by so fast.
Rushing the people's business,
Yes.
that's where it's going on.
Alderman Clemmons, do you have a motion?
I do, motion to adjourn.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And those opposed? We don't have Alderman Lopez here to oppose. And the meeting is adjourned at 7:15 PM. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.